In the year 1940, the world is at war and Germany has devised a plan to win this war that no one had ever imagined. No weapons, no soldiers, just paper notes. Germany ordered prisoners in a camp, so that the economy and banking system there would completely collapse and break down. The plan was not as easy as it sounded. The responsibility was given to Bassett. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see a weapons factory. And in a minute, all their happiness ends. Then we are shown the main character of this movie, Tommy. There was a time when people trembled at the sound of this spirit's name. Now he lives quietly in a remote area far from the city. Having settled down, the issue was not that people had come close to his area. The issue was that one woman recognized Tommy. She even questioned Johnny about it. And that spirit replied that Tommy has cut himself off from the world and was happy playing the game. Seeing her made him happy too, and he placed his daughter's photograph on his brother's grave and moved forward. At this time, sorrow was clearly visible in his eyes. Never even called his sister inside his house, but instead went to meet her in her car. Ada was now a member of parliament and worked for the good, but Tommy was always known for evil. She asked him, "Do you even know what your son is doing these days?" "He runs Peaky Blinders in Birmingham, a gangster group you created, and runs it as if time has stopped, even more passionately and dangerously than you." "I won't go. After Arthur died, I see nothing in this life." His words clearly showed he was broken. Here again we are shown the same factory where weapons were made and where the blast had occurred. They took all the government supplies and packed them into their vehicles. Here a spirit bravely told you that you cannot take these goods, they belong to the government which will use them in the war. But as soon as he said this, they came and killed him, and these people again packed up and took the goods away, and no one could stop them. By the time Ada arrived, the game was already over, and all the people standing there began to abuse her. The scene cuts, and sometime later John Bucket is shown at the Peaky Blinders base, who had come to meet the Duke. He places shining $5 notes on the table and says, "I still have £350 million, just need to do it." He says this deal was originally meant to be done with Tommy, but now you are sitting in front of me. Hearing this, the Duke got angry, cursed at him, and said, "Tommy doesn't come here anymore. I am the boss here, no one else, and I make the decisions." The scene cuts to Tommy's house. Strange things were happening, like the windows, which he always kept shut, were open. He noticed that a woman had come into the house. Here she reveals a shocking twist that she can talk to her sister's spirit, and that spirit had forcibly sent her to Tommy, meaning Tommy's wife had sent her sister to Tommy. Happy in memory of his wife, Tommy is shown in the past circa 1914. The scene returns to the present, revealing that this entire story was being told to Tommy by Aura, and Tommy was shocked because these things were known only to him and his wife. He says, "Now you must believe my words. Those days are gone when I used to work that way." Then the girl says, "If you listen to me and save your son, then your wife and I together will give you the peace you have been seeking for so long." He speaks softly. "Yes, I was there that day Arthur was shot. He had come to ask for money and brought a gun with him. He took my car, he was intoxicated and started treating me as the devil." Then things continued. Singtoken Abamal shows Tommy's son Dub and his sister Ida. Ida comes to advise Dub not to continue what he's doing. "Don't rob the poor people's money like this, nor the government's treasury, because that way we will lose the war. And if you don't stop doing all this, then you'll see how badly I will punish you." Duke laughs at her threat and says, "No one has been born yet who can stop me." "Who will stop me?" "You, your government, your parle, who is now mentally unstable, has lost interest in the industry and will not even try to stop me. And yes, let me tell you one more thing, I am going to do something big." Ida also leaves her sleep and goes to a member of his group named Charlie and tells him that she has decided to stand against her own nephew. Will bring lots of evidence to the army court and prove that her nephew. Frustrated, she goes to those whose homes were destroyed by German bombs and who lived in refugee camps, saying, "I know many of you are witnesses to the fact that Birmingham factory." We are shown Tommy again, who wakes up in the morning and sees that the girl has left the house, but her words had such an effect that Tommy decided to stop his daughter. On waking up, he took his daughter's scarf and When he was taking out his gun, Johnny stops him from going farther because Tommy was in great danger all over the city. But Tommy didn't care about anything. On the other side, we again see the Duke who... Then my work won't be complete either. How will you manage all this? I am worried now. You don't want your share or this much money. Hearing these words, Dio was pumped up. He also set out to kill Ada. It wasn't that his aim was poor, but he deliberately missed because he couldn't kill his aunt. After much thought, he started following his aunt again, and suddenly shots were fired again. Tommy, who was on his way to meet his son, saw his sister standing in the middle of the road. He knew it was his sister's spirit and understood that she had also been killed. Mina was worried that now Tommy would come to a place to find his son. This was the place where his son and his people used to work. But when he did not find his son there, he went to a sister who took him to meet everyone. Many people did not appear to work because they already knew about Tommy. But one young man who did not know Tommy came forward showing his youth and said, "Play the music, and whatever song you have." And that young man insults Tommy. Tommy then takes a grenade from his pocket, pulls the pin and drops it in that young man's pocket. Seeing this, even the young guy was shocked and panicked. Anyway, from here he learns the location of the Duke and reaches him. As soon as he goes to the Duke, he starts attacking him because the Duke had crossed all limits. Tommy thought Kate was killed by the Duke, but here the Duke tells him, "What did you teach me? This is exactly what I was taught, which I have done. You gave me this inheritance. If I don't do this, Tommy," he punishes him more and asks if he knows who Ada's killer is. He reveals it was a German spirit who hired him. He tells him all the details of the plan, then Tommy leaves for the hospital. He knows that his sister's body is at the hospital and he wants to see her one last time. He wants to see her now. At this moment, giving a gun, Johnny asks what he intends to do with the gun here. He says that since his sister was killed, he is the next target, and that person also knows very well that he will surely come here to see his sister. He is very emotional at this time. For the first time, he confesses to Ada the biggest sin he committed which caused him to leave the world. That sin was that he murdered his own brother Arthur. He was intoxicated but still more powerful than Tommy. Both were gangsters, but authority and tactics always prevailed, which Tommy disliked. Therefore, he killed his brother. That is his enemy John, who comes out with his gun and they shoot at each other, aiming to kill. But both avoid each other's bullets and take cover. John tells Tommy, "Look, my boss is much." But Tommy believed none of it and didn't want to hear anything. To Tommy, he was just his sister's killer and he wanted to kill him. When Tommy stood up and fired again, the man hid behind horses. After a long time, he came out to the city where people treated him like a celebrity. He had now arrived at the Duke's base, and she tells him he will be made a child, and as she was leaving, Tommy met her outside. She said, "I have convinced your son. He will help you with your plans and will also catch your sister's killers." In the next scene, Duke and Tommy are seen sitting together and drinking. Then Tommy leaves for his sister's funeral, and on the other hand, Duke calls John saying he knows John's location. To save his life, John agrees to pay this money too. Here it is shown that Tommy and a special spirit start planning together. Though the spirit did not make the plan, John says, "We won't follow this plan. That my dad's men are coming on 3 small boats to kill you. If you want, you can come out before them, attack, and survive." Duke's words seemed true as 3 boats really appeared from the front. But Tommy was not coming from those boats. He was busy breaking the door of a tunnel with his men and moving ahead inside the tunnel. On the other side, the boat approaches John's area. Actually, he was preparing to plant a bomb. He left the bomb on that boat and jumped into the water. As soon as the boat approached their area, a big explosion happened, killing everyone on John's side. He had double-crossed. Actually, he was with his dad, but here he convinced John that he was with him also, and in this trick, he betrayed John. Before he could kill Duke, another secret agent appeared. It is revealed that the explosion was not caused by anyone else but Tommy, and now all his spirits have gathered here. When his men arrived, John's spirits also got alerted and fighting started among them. Well, now Tommy takes a bomb and burns all the money that John intended to use to destroy this country. Seeing his money burning, John realizes his game is over, so he sits in his car and He could have killed him with 2 well-aimed shots, but he waited for John to shoot first because he didn't want to live this life either. When John fired 2 shots, Tommy fired only one at his heart and killed him. To completely surrender himself, he was standing right in front of John's car, but before the car could hit him, Duke arrived and pushed his dad aside. There was still hope that Tommy's life could be saved. So the bullet his sister gave him, he put it inside his gun and shot his dad, ending him. In Tommy's last moments, he remembers everything good in his life, his wife, his daughter. Then Dub tells his men to burn all this money, and he himself starts his dad's funeral. And thus, the story ends with Tommy's funeral.